Welcome back to Munangiwa, the chosen one. Well, I'm sure by now you guys know that Munangiwa, which is my Chivenda name, means the chosen one in English. So guys, this is not clickbait. I go to this country with zero bank balance. From South Africa to China, I had nothing. So yes, it was the grace of God and also the help of people. But I got to China with zero bank balance. So these people paid for 5 things. 1, they paid for my flight from South Africa to China. 2, they paid for my first meal in China. And 3, they paid for my mobile internet connection. 4, they gave me a monthly allowance. 5, fifth one was they paid for my housing. So this is where it all began. I graduated from University of Venda with a Bachelor's of Education degree. With a degree, I was hopeful that I will definitely get a job since I had studied for Bachelor's of Education degree, which most people say that there are lots of jobs in that field. Before I even got my qualification, I had already submitted close to 50 CVs to different schools. The thing is, I was going to different schools submitting the CVs in person. I was going door to door in school, handing my CV. Some of the CVs I would just go to the district and hand it over the CV at the district, but yet I did not get any reply from any district or any school that said I should come and have an interview. Out of all those submissions, not even one school came to me and say, we want to have an interview with you. Not even one school at all. After submitting all those CVs without getting any results, my sister told me about her friend who was an ESL teacher here in China, and then I contacted her. I asked her about information about how to teach in China, and then she told me about all the information, the steps that I needed to take to come and teach in China. Then I applied on seriousteachers.com. That was the first website I applied for my teaching job here in China. And then within like 3 hours, I was flooded with so many emails with recruiters wanting to have an interview with me because they were saying that there are schools that want to have an interview with me. In South Africa, I've been submitting CVs, not getting any reply, right? But then when I submitted my resume online, I got so many emails. Now, I started to ask myself, is this maybe a scam? Or is this real because of how many recruiters wanted to have interview with me? So now I'm excited that I'm going to have interviews. I lined up my interviews, downloaded WeChat, and then I started having interview with school. I tell them my salary expectations. They said, okay, it's okay. And then everything was okay. So when we discussed about salary, they did not say like, no, we won't hire you. When asked about the city, everything was okay. But then they were not getting back to me. And now I'm starting to ask myself, what's happening? And then I had an interview with this school that was in Hengshui, the school that took me. I had an interview with them. They were keen on having my service in China. And then they said, okay, we are going to send you a contract. And they did eventually send me a contract. Well, after they've sent me the contract, I have my documents ready. Everything was in order, right? And then I tell my parents that it's time for me to go to China. And then I contacted the school and told them that everything that I have right now is in order for me to come to China. And then the boss was like, when can you come to China, because we need you to come ASAP. I told him that, well, I don't have money to come to China because at that time I truly did not have any money. I just came from university. I was unemployed. I had wasted so much money trying to submit CVs and going up and down trying to submit CVs in South Africa. So which means I was financially in drought, right? And then he said, okay, it's fine. For you to come to China, we are keen to having you here. So this is our agreement. We are going to pay for your flight, but the only thing that we want from you is that you go to Chinese embassy and you apply for your visa. And then I packed my bags, went to Joburg, I went to Shenzhen Chinese Embassy, and then I applied for the visa, and then I sent him a picture and said, well, this is the visa that I've applied for. And after sending him the visa, he said, okay, we are going to book a flight for you. Which day is it suitable for you to fly to China? And then I told him that, okay, maybe I can come on Saturday because my visa was going to be released on a Thursday. And then he said, flights on Saturday or flights on weekend are a bit expensive. So the least we can do is to get you a flight on Monday, which is not expensive. And yet he booked a flight on a Monday, which was on the 5th of August, right? So when you book the flight, he told me that, okay, the flight is booked. So on the 5th, you have to come to China and you are flying at 2 o'clock from South Africa to China. Now I'm anxious, I'm like, the reality that I'm about to fly to China was starting to kick in. Everything that I processed before was not like, okay, I'm about to go to China. So here's the thing. Now the flight is booked, everything is in order. What's left for me is to fly in China. I felt anxious. I was also excited. I had mixed emotions. I lost appetite because I was also worried with what my family was thinking, because I could see from their eyes when I was speaking to each and every one of them that they were a bit worried but excited for me that I'm going to work in China, right? So in that case, I was just so excited but yet nervous at the same time. Now, this is me. I have zero bank balance. I have no money. The flight is booked. I'm about to fly to China, right? I don't have any money at all. I was not thinking about what I'm going to eat in China. Like, that was not on my mind, but I had no money. Now I'm just like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And I boarded the flight, flew to China. So I flew Emirates. There were meals being served on board. They served us like 3, if not 4 meals that time. And then I went to Dubai, transit from Dubai. Then I went to Shanghai. So when I went to Shanghai, I had to take another flight from Shanghai to Hebei province in Zhejiang, right? So I flew from Shanghai. Now I'm in Zhejiang. The school manager came and picked me up. It was during midnight, so he came with his friend. And then after that, he picked me up, took me to the apartment, and he told me that this is where I'm going to be staying. After him taking me to the apartment, he told me that you have to go to work at lunchtime at 1 o'clock. At this point, the last meal that I had was the one which was served on the plane. Now, I wake up, I have to go to school during midday so that I can register at the local police station, because when you arrive in China as a foreigner, the first thing that you have to do is to go and register at the local police station. At this time, I had not eaten, right? And then the school principal took me to the police station. After taking me to the police station, we did everything that was supposed to be done there at the police station. And then she offered me food. At that time, I was now hungry, and then she offered to buy food for me. I remember the first meal that I had in China was rice, eggs, and a chicken. Remember, guys, I don't have money. I don't have internet connection. So my boss helped me connect on his hotspot so that I can connect with people back at home and tell them that I have now arrived in China, so that they can be at ease, because surely they were stressing that I have not been contacting them for like maybe quite a long time during the flight time. I contacted them and told them that yes, I have arrived in China, I'm safe. The school principal came and took me to where I'm supposed to be staying and where I'm supposed to be working at. As I said, from the local police station, the boss offered to purchase my meal for me. You see, I told you that I don't have money, right? So they've paid for the flight, they've paid or they've bought me the first meal in China, which I did not think I was going to have any meal because I had no money. I told myself that, guys, I'm going to fast for the whole month. Though I had spices in my bag because I bought a lot of spices. So after having the meal, the school principal called me to her office and said, Chris, we know that we have given you money for flight, but since you don't have any money, we are going to give you an allowance. You see, this allowance they are giving me, it's a loan on top of a loan, because first of all, the flight ticket that I had purchased was not for free, it was a loan. Secondly, the allowance that they are giving me, it's also not for free, it's a loan, which means I had top up debt on top of another debt, right? And then other thing, they said, okay, you don't have a SIM card, right? So they gave me a school registered SIM card which had internet and also can make local calls here in China. So the apartment had already been paid for, the school had already signed a 6-month lease already, and the apartment had all necessary furniture and equipment that I would need: Wi-Fi, TV, stove and rice cooker, as well as a fridge. With all that said, I started working within a week because I have to now pay the loan that they have given me. They needed my labor ASAP. I needed to pay them back their money ASAP because I don't like to be on debt. So I didn't even spend like 5 days relaxing from the jet lag. I started working right away within like 4 days. The allowance that the school had given me was to last me like a month, but then the allowance lasted me for a full good 2 months. With repaying the loan, this is how it went about. I worked for August, and then that's when they started deducting my salary in September, because my August salary was supposed to be paid in September. So in September I was paying bits and pieces of the flight allowance, and then as time goes on I was also paying for the loan, which was my allowance that the school had given me. So from, let's say, from August up until January, I was paying for that loan. I did really pay back what I owe to the school because I gave them the money and I gave them my service. I kept my end part of the promise. The school also kept the end part of the promise that they will take care of me, and then they did take care of me. I have no complaints at all with how much the school deducted from my salary because it was a mutual agreement between me and the school. I was lucky that time because China needed lots and lots of foreign teachers to come and be ESL teachers. That's why the school took the risk and the willingness to pay for my flight, pay for my housing, pay for my food, and also give me a SIM card because teachers were in demand at that time in schools here in China. So in a case where, let's say, borders are open, I would advise someone to come in China with the way how I did. But you must be very careful. You have to do this in writing. The moment you land in China, as I did, I had to write it down that I owe the school this much. I signed, and then I also told the school that this is how much I will be able to pay per month. So they were being able to deduct that amount that was agreed upon in writing from my salary. So instead of taking my full salary, the school was only deducting an amount that we had agreed on when I signed the contract when I arrived in China. Well, now you have it on my story on how I came to China with zero bank balance. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment. Bye bye.